care and feeding of werewolves. Episode 23. Content warning. Listeners, be advised. This episode contains a frank description of transphobia and sexual assault. According to a study done by the Williams Institute, trans people are 4 times more likely to experience violent assault in their lifetime than cis people. The CDC states that 47% of trans people experience sexual assault. That number becomes 53% for trans people of color. 61% for trans people with disabilities. With the rise in anti-trans rhetoric and stochastic terrorism, we can expect these numbers to increase. This episode is based on a true story. Fuck!
Julia? It's 4 a.m. What's the big... Oh gods, Julia, did you lose a match?
I guess you could say that. I really lost, Hazel. And I don't know what to do. And I'm hurting in ways that I ain't never hurt before, and I can't even... How did he know? Why? Why am I so weak?
Julia, hitting your leg isn't going to help whatever's going on, and you're the least weak man I know.
I ain't no man.
Don't be ridiculous. Here, drink your tea. It'll help you feel better.
I ain't no man, and tea won't help shit.
I've never seen you like this, Julia. What happened? What's going on? Talk to me.
I met a fucking orc tonight. I was working the door. There was this big show going on, and the crowd was rowdy. I mean, real mean. Lots of threats. Had a couple people try to bring in weapons, that sort of shit. One dumbass tried to claim sovereign citizens don't need to pay covers. That was fun.
What the hell? Who was playing? Kid Rock?
Close. A band called Underage Slag.
Okay, gross.
Hope to God it's for shock value. Anyway, typical shock jock show. Show ends around midnight. Big ass fight breaks out. Me and a couple other guys break it up. Few destroyed tables, a couple of broken mirrors. Boss is pissed, but what can you do? Anyway, I take my break and go have a sandwich and a beer.
Julia, what have I told you about underage drinking?
It was a near beer, no alcohol. Fuck. Anyway, Fuck.
Julia?
So anyway, I went to the bathroom and this orc was in there. I figured he was a roadie because he didn't come through the door when I was working it, but roadies usually use the green room bathroom. Fucker was just standing there leaning against the wall. I mean, weird, but I seen weirder, so I didn't think nothing of it. He sort of smirked at me and nodded to the stall like he wasn't waiting for it or nothing, and I didn't think nothing of it.
Oh, no.
So I went in, and I was doing my business and finished up, and then he just came in. Just shoved right in and started laughing. And I yelled, and he said he knew it was a bitch, and that I never fool a real orc. And then he grabbed me, and we fought. But it was like fighting an avalanche. My pants were around my ankles, so I couldn't use my legs, and punches did nothing. I got him in the throat, and he laughed. He said I was feisty for a girl, and I was gonna learn what girls like, and that he was gonna make a woman of me. And he pinned me, and I kept fighting, and then he started choking me, and he me. Fuck. I can still smell it on me. That piss smell of the bathroom floor and his fucking stink. Why didn't you tell me, Hazel? Why didn't you tell me I look like a girl?
It wasn't my place. I thought...
You didn't think. You're my fucking doctor and you didn't tell me about my body? And neither did Nana. You know how much Pacid means to me.
Okay, I know. I know. I thought Nana would have told you. I guess she thought the same that I would have. Maybe she also thought it wasn't her place to tell you if you didn't exactly look male to orcs.
How many other supernaturals do I look female to? How many others ping me as female? This is what I meant. I'm not a man. I'm never gonna be a man. I should slap on a fucking dress and be done with it.
You'd look ridiculous. And has anyone in the supernatural community ever treated you as anything other than a man, as who you are? Think about it, Julia. Think about how many shapeshifters there are in our community. Do you think being transgender is going to throw them?
It certainly threw that fucking orc.
There are plenty of trans orcs in the community. That asshole... I know for a fact he was raised to be better. It's orc law. Fuck. Okay. You're right. I am your doctor, and I should start acting like it. May I do a pelvic exam? I want to check for injuries, get a semen sample, and do a swab for STIs. And get you an orc strength morning after potion and started on a round of pep.
A pelvic exam. I don't know, Hazel. I really don't want to. You know.
I know. Look, it's your choice, but if you're bleeding or having pain, we really should. Plus, I'm going to catch this fucker. That semen sample will let me scry him out. He won't hide from me.
This is too much.
I know. It's going to be okay. I won't let you be alone with this. What do you need right now?
I don't know. A shower. A really long shower behind like 5 locked doors in a bank vault. I want to cry forever. I want to die. I want to rage. I want to hurt something. I want to hurt myself. I just don't know what I need. I want to not be until I stop hurting. I want to forget this ever happened. Can you do that, Hazel? Can you make me forget? Please.
Oh, gods. Julia, you know I can't. It doesn't erase the memories. It just buries them, and it'll fester. Trauma is a dirty wound. Right now, we need to do triage, which means stop the bleeding. Then we clean the wound, bandage it, and care for it as best we can to minimize the scarring. And there will be scarring. Therapy helps keep the scars from forming too deep and getting too inflexible, though. I have the number of a good therapist. She's one of us and familiar with LGBTQ people, including trans-specific care. So she won't make the same mistakes that I did. And I am so sorry, Julia. I'm so sorry.
I ain't talking about this with a stranger.
It's an option. I won't pressure you. Maybe I'll bring it up again when you might be more ready to hear it. But you should still know all of your options right now. which means you should take this. It's Plan B. Fair warning, you're going to menstruate because of it, but try to think of it as a cleansing.
Orc strength, huh? Okay. Maybe you should tell me about orcs, Doc. How did he ping me as a girl? Why orc strength birth control? What else do I need to know about my body?
Well, you're not going to like this.
I haven't exactly enjoyed anything about today.
Point. Okay, so orcs assigned female at birth don't grow up to have the same secondary sex characteristics as humans. They don't develop breasts like us. They develop facial hair in a specific pattern. You know how you can only grow lamb chop sideburns? That's actually considered the most attractive. AFAB orcs have shorter, snubbed noses, larger eyes, paler skin, and smaller tusks. Your human half probably contributes to some of those characteristics that ping as female. They are generally shorter, averaging about 6 foot tall, and you know about the lifespans, right?
What, am I gonna live for 200 years or something?
Well, no. Orcs don't live quite as long as humans, although AFAB orcs tend to live longer than male orcs. They average roughly 67 years, where AMABs live about 64. You might live a more human lifespan going by your metabolism. You don't go through calories quite as fast as a full-blooded orc, so...
Jesus, I still need 4,000 calories a day just to maintain.
Yeah, and full-blooded orcs tend to need twice that. They eat a lot. On the upside, their bodies are ridiculously fast healing. Cancer is almost unknown among orcs, as well as autoimmune diseases and dementia. It's usually the cardiopulmonary system or the liver that goes bad towards the end.
Okay. So, why orc strength Plan B?
2 reasons. Reason 1 is that AFAB orcs always ovulate during penetration. Reason 2 is that the sperm is both strong and long-lived. I've seen it punch a hole through a condom, and it can stay viable for weeks after ejaculation.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why aren't there more orcs?
Too small of a gene pool. The vast majority of orc sex results in pregnancies with non-viable embryos that are miscarried simply because of genetic junk. Genetic disorders are common enough that it's taboo for some families to date simply because of recessive genes. They have some way of telling when a couple is genetically compatible, but they're very close-mouthed about it. I don't know how they do it, but imagine falling in love just to be told you can't be with your partner because your children wouldn't survive infancy if you even wanted them.
That Romeo and Juliet thought they had it rough.
I did once see an orc production of that. It was a gut punch, and yet still not as bloody as Shakespeare original.
I'm not sure I like the idea of saying who gets to have kids just because a kid might be disabled, though. It smacks of eugenics to me.
Me too. It's a sticky situation for sure. It's as much a religious and cultural thing as it is population control. They've had this custom ever since Homo sapiens moved into their territory in modern-day Italy and damn near wiped them out.
Yeah, times change.
Well, Maybe orcs like you can make them see that.
I ain't no orc.
Don't reject them just yet. Not because of one. Not because of one.
I think I can do that pelvic exam now.
Okay. Feel any better after that shower?
A little. I need like 20 more. With a power washer and sandpaper. I know it's gone, but that smell.
You up for a hug?
Sorry. Not really.
I got it.
Any test results?
Some. I hate to say it, but you're going to need an antibiotic potion. One swab came up positive for Morales putredo. It's a magical STI. Increases sex drive and rots certain bits.
Curable?
Oh, easily. No worries there.
Would he have done what he did if he wasn't sick? You know, if his sex drive wasn't fucked up?
No STD changes who a person is. Besides, rape isn't about sex. It's about power. In this case, it was about enforcing gender roles in the worst possible way. I guarantee you that orc has never known what any woman in their life has ever wanted, and he would certainly never provide them with it. That orc felt it was his right and probably his duty to violate you and take away your masculinity, to take away your power in being who you are. I'm certain that anti-trans rhetoric and stochastic terrorism contributed far more to this attack than a simple STI.
Stochastic terrorism. That's when people encourage attacks on minority groups, right? People take that fucking seriously.
Yeah, they start feeling like they're backed by the majority and won't suffer any consequences. Some even think they'll be hailed as a hero.
Did you find out who he is?
Not yet. I've been focusing on your healthcare first.
I'm nervous about going to the council. That's a lot of people knowing my private business.
Council?
Yeah, that's why you were trying to find who he is, right? Bring him to justice?
Oh, yeah, sure. Totally.
I mean, this wouldn't just be the orc elders, would it? It'd be the whole council.
I don't think so. You're not a human, and you haven't claimed to orc justice through blood. You can go straight to them, let them handle it in-house. That would minimize the number of people involved. And I know that they definitely want to hunt this guy down. He's a threat to the community. Human cops get involved and start looking for him, they might find his family, and I guarantee he has family members that can't pass as human at all.
Yeah, we can't let that happen.
No, he's done enough harm. He will see justice. I promise you that.
Gonna hex him?
Something like that.
Yeah, don't try to give his butt boils.
Don't need to. He already has them.
Ew.
Ew, indeed. So, what do we tell Addison?
Nothing. Nobody needs to know.
Are you sure? You know they'd want to help. They really care about you.
They don't need to know, okay? I don't want to worry them. And I don't want them to see me like this.
Like what?
A victim.
Julia.
No, I'm supposed to be the strong one. The big guy they can feel safe around. a protector, you know? How can they see me like that if they know I've had this happen? It'd change everything. They'd get all protective of me, and I can't take that, especially not right now. I can't let this change how people see me.
I understand that. But you know how empathic Addison is. They're going to know that something is wrong, and it's not healthy to push people away when what you need is support. Even the biggest and strongest of us need love and support in hard times. Look at Nana. You never treated her any differently, no matter what happened to her. It takes a different kind of strength to let people in when you're vulnerable.
Yeah, and holy shit, am I feeling vulnerable. I don't even like you knowing. Hazel, if you weren't my doc.
For what it's worth, I don't see you as weak or unable to protect yourself. You're still the same guy who has bounced a bunch of aggressive clients, saved my ass a dozen times over, and been there for me through thick and thin. You're one of the strongest people I know, and I know Addison thinks so too.
Thanks. Still, I ain't ready to talk about it with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's too raw.
Mm-hmm.
And if people know, they're gonna have questions, and I just can't deal with that right now.
That's understandable. Julia?
Yeah?
If you want someone to just sit with you and hang out, no questions or anything, you let me know, okay? You don't have to talk about it to not be alone with it.
Maybe. I hate asking. But maybe. I gotta work tomorrow, and the idea of going back there, I just want to puke. But I need to make rent. Do you think you can come hang out? I know punk ain't your favorite, but I'd just like someone watching my pack, you know?
No problem. I'll bring the wand that I made last year. Who's playing?
Sir Killingsworth. I don't know much about him. Sort of a pop-punk experiment.
Oh, so these guys know how to play their instruments.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that.
Thank you for listening. Today's episode was written and edited by Frederick Elmore. Music by Kevin Elmore. Featuring Frederick Elmore as Julia, Brenna Anderson Dowd as Hazel. If you enjoyed the show, share it with a friend. Find us on Facebook at Care and Feeding of Werewolves, tweet us at CareWerewolves, or email us at feedingwerewolves@gmail.com. Please rate and review. Care and Feeding of Werewolves is a podcast distributed by Kerfuffling Chaos Productions and licensed under a Creative Commons Non-Commercial Attribution Share-alike 4.0 International. All content on the Care and Feeding of Werewolves podcast is fictional and for entertainment purposes only. Content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your doctor or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of an episode. Reliance on any information given by Care and Feeding of Werewolves, Kerfuffling Chaos Productions, or anyone involved with the production of this podcast is solely at your own risk.